So I want to take a minute to acknowledge that, yes, I do see the comments. Some of you guys don't like the fact that I don't ride e-bikes anymore, even though this channel, for those of you guys that might be new, was built on the back of mostly building custom e-bikes. This was my first ever bike. The thing looked like a death trap, and in all honesty, it kind of was. But it was also like a beast. 72-volt battery, direct drive hub motor. That sparked my whole passion for micro mobility as a category. For the first time, I was no longer dependent on a car to get around, and it was a beautiful feeling. But since then, past 3 years, I've slowly evolved my taste, which is natural. As you learn more, you ride more vehicles, you should have an evolving opinion. And my opinion has moved in the direction of these small, powerful emotos, like what I'm on right now, the rawrr Mantis X. So in this video, I want to explain why my preference has evolved in this direction, who I think e-bikes are still for, even today in 2024. And finally, I want to give a little teaser on the next e-bike I'm going to be getting and how it could potentially address a lot of these issues I'm going to be laying out in this video. By the way, I hope the audio sounds good in this video. I have a new mic system, and I've been experimenting with mic placement as well as like noise cancellation. So if this sounds good, let me know in the comments. But okay, the main reason why I've gone from riding e-bikes to my new preferred PEV of choice, Emotos, is due to the comfort. I tend to ride the vehicle, the bike, that I find to be the most comfortable. And Emotos, like what I'm on right now, are, to me, significantly more comfortable and thus enjoyable to ride than most e-bikes on the market. And that comes down to primarily the seat. I find bike saddles, and I think a lot of people agree with me on this, bike saddles to be rather uncomfortable for extended riding sessions. And I much prefer having a larger bench seat like what you usually find on Emotos. They're significantly larger than saddles, and they're just a better shape with a lot more padding. But it's not just the seat. Another part of the comfort equation is the suspension. And this is just another area that Emotos have an edge. The dirt bike suspension on these Emotos is fantastic. It's long travel. And it makes going over bumps just feel like nothing. I will say e-bikes in this category of suspension have been slowly getting better, but it's still not fantastic. There's a good swath of e-bikes that don't even have rear suspension. And those that do, it's not nearly the same level as Emoto suspension. So the combination of long travel suspension, a comfortable, large padded seat, is a big reason why I gravitated towards Emotos from e-bikes. Oh, you know, I forgot, we actually have a dedicated bike lane over here, which is super rare. Look at this, bike infrastructure, which leads me perfectly to my next point here, which is the lack of proper bike infrastructure. Now, this is highly dependent on where you live, but for most people in America that live outside of cities, there is zero bike infrastructure. And if we do have a bike path, it's a novel thing that just we got lucky. There's a park and we happen to have a couple miles of bike lanes, but it's not a reliable, deep network of bike infrastructure. Instead, we have roads like this. If you want to go to work, gym, or do any kind of riding, you have to be on this road. And I just prefer to do that on a bike like this versus a 750 watt e-bike where I don't have the option or the ability to go fast and keep up with traffic. But man, when you do have dedicated bike infrastructure, like the exception that I'm on right now, it is so nice. But moving on to the final core point I have here as to why I don't really prefer e-bikes anymore is due to their value proposition. Now, of course, there are budget bikes out there that are really exceptional. I've reviewed a few of them on this channel before, but a lot of e-bikes are within the $2,000 to even $3,000 range. Like, it's very common to see like a $2,400 e-bike. And in my opinion, an e-bike for $2,400 that is, limited legally to 750 watts, has like 20 miles of range, is really not a good deal anymore. I mean, as an example here, when I'm out in the wild, a lot of people ask me questions about the bikes that I'm on, and they always ask two main questions. The first one is always, how much does it cost? What's the price tag? And the second one is, what's the range? And when I tell normal people that, oh yeah, this bike is, $2,000, $2,500 and it gets 20 miles of range, they look at me like I'm insane. And this is something that a lot of us have become desensitized to, but it's a real issue. The average person, they're comparing this in their mind against other mopeds, gas-powered devices that get, 200 miles of range on a single fill-up. And I am hopeful that one day, hopefully soon, battery technology will get more competitive with the range of gas-powered vehicles. But there's just no way of getting around the fact that 20 miles of range, a $2,000 price tag, is just not impressive specifications for a lot of these e-bikes. So Emotos like I'm on right now, compared to e-bikes, have better range, better top speeds, which is necessary if you're like me and you live in a place that doesn't have good bike infrastructure and everything is separated by miles and only connected via high-speed roadways. When I'm on an Emoto, I feel like I at least have a chance when competing with traffic for space. And the combination of the large seat, the long travel suspension, I find Emotos usually, pretty much across the board, way more comfortable and thus enjoyable to ride than most e-bikes out there. But as promised, I am getting my hands on an e-bike, hopefully relatively soon, that could be a good solution here. It's the newly updated Wired Freedom. For an e-bike, this has a ton of power with over 3,000 watts of power. This new model is also equipped with dual batteries, giving you an insane range, way more than 20 miles. They've redesigned the suspension, introducing a new air shock, so the ride should be way more comfortable, and it's still only $2,000. So that can be a much more compelling e-bike that potentially brings me back from Emotos. But there you have it. That's why I've pivoted away personally from e-bikes and I've been almost exclusively riding Emotos. If I lived in an area like New York City, that things are closer together, there's good bike infrastructure, there would be no need for me to ride an Emoto. And I'm also very excited to see how e-bikes are going to evolve in the future. I think they're going to continue to get bigger battery packs, better suspension, and just become better products. That's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, always greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.